In this session, we will discuss Laplace transform. So, basically, this Laplace transform is about transformation from one variable, that is time domain, to another one, which is frequency domain. So in this case, we have f of t, where this t is time domain. Of course, this t is going to be greater than or equal to 0, and it is converted to, or I'll say transformed, to frequency domain. That is S. So this S is going to be a complex number which is sigma plus, let's say, j omega, and if it is oscillatory, we will have sigma equal to 0 and we will have S equal to j omega. If required, we'll see that. Other than that, the expression for Laplace transform of f of t is given by integration from 0 to infinity f of t e to the power of minus st dt. This is basically unilateral. If it is bilateral, the integration will be minus infinity to infinity, the same integration, right? So we will move to see some of the standard transformations so that we don't have to derive it or solve it in the question, rather we can directly use it. The first one is some of the basics one. First one is impulse signal, if it is required or if it is in your syllabus. This impulse signal has Laplace transform as 1. The second one is step signal, which is having the Laplace transform 1 by s. You can also use 1 like as a constant value 1, for which the Laplace transform is going to be 1 by s. So if it is k, you will have k by s. It's like if you have 5, the Laplace transform for this will be 5 by s, right? Other than that, if we have t, the Laplace transform is going to be 1 by s square, and the standard general term is for t to the power of n, we have n factorial by s to the power of n plus 1. So let's say if it is t to the power 3, the Laplace transform is going to be 3 factorial, which is 6, by s to the power of 3 plus 1. So this is 6 by s to the power of 4, like that. If there is some exponential function, maybe e to the power minus at or e to the power plus at, then we'll have the exactly opposite sign. So if it is e to the power minus at, we'll have 1 by s plus a. If it is e to the power plus at, it is 1 by s minus a. This will also have effect on t to the power of n, which we say frequency shift. We'll see that frequency shift. So as of now, you can see that t to the power of n, we know that t to the power of n will have, I'll write it here, n factorial by s to the power of n plus 1. Now because of this e to the power minus at, this becomes n factorial by s plus a times of n plus 1. This is the frequency shift. We'll see this property. So these are the general standard transform we have to remember. Other than that, some of the other transforms are sin at or sin bt and cos bt. For sin bt, we have b by s square plus b square, and for cos bt, we have s by s square plus b square. So this b is the argument here, right? Similarly, if this e to the power minus at is coming as a factor in the t f of t, that is time domain, then we will have, like in this case we had b by s square plus b square, so it becomes b by s plus a square plus b square. So this s factor will be changed to s plus a. This is the frequency shift. I'm telling it again. We will see this. So this is the only change we will observe here. Again, if we have cos bt with e minus at, we'll see the change in s and s square both. So it will become s plus a and s plus a square. For t times of sin bt, this is going to be 2b. For t sin bt, we will have 2bs by s square plus b square whole square. This is hyperbolic function. The only difference from the general sine and b function is that the denominator has plus sign. In this case, we will have minus sign, in case you want to remember it in the easiest manner. Other than that, we will move to the properties. The general properties we'll see, and then we can easily go for the questions. So if we are saying that f of t has Laplace transform as f of s, then f of t, let's say f of t has f of s, like if I'm saying it is f of t has f of s and g of t has g of s, then this is a linear combination of these two, which can be written as c1 times of f of s plus c2 times of g of s. So we can do this superposition and we can find the Laplace transform. Other than that, if, like I have been saying in the past standard results, if we have f of t with f of s, like here f of t has f of s, if we multiply e to the power at with f of t, we will get f of s minus a. This is nothing but frequency shift. There is a shift in the frequency. S becomes s minus a. So this is the frequency shift. Had it been e to the power minus at, e to the power minus at f of t, the Laplace transform will become f of s plus a. This is f of s plus a. Then comes the scaling property. This is scaling. We are scaling the variable t with a times of t. In that case, we will see one factor as 1 by a, and then the frequency will also get attenuated by a, right? So on the other side, one side we are scaling, on other side we are attenuated. Now if it is having derivative, for derivative, case, like this is the derivative, we will have s times of L of ft minus f of 0. F of 0 is the initial condition of f of t, that is at t equal to 0. So let's say if we have nth derivative, then we'll start with s to the power of n, then s minus 1, s n minus 2, and so on. This will keep on going. This is the f of 0, first derivative at 0, second derivative at 0, and it will keep going. So let's say if we have, suppose, d2 f of t by dt square, then the Laplace transform should be, now that this is the second order derivative, so s square f of s minus s to the power of 2 minus 1, which is 1, so s into f of 0, then again minus s1, so s of 0, that is simply 1, into f dash of 0. So this is like for second order. Had it been more, we'll get more terms here. Now, other than that, let's see the integration part. If we have integration of f of t, it will reflect as 1 by s for the Laplace transform. So this is going to be 1 by s of f of s, right? And if we keep on integrating, like we are seeing here, if we keep on integrating, we will keep on getting the s. Then if it is second derivative, it will be f of s by s square. If it is third derivative, it will be f of s by s cube, and so on. This term comes from the integration from minus infinity to 0. So if at all we have such condition, then only we will have this term, otherwise this term won't be there. Generally in our general cases we won't get this term, we will have only this term. Otherwise we will have all such terms if it is available or if it is present there. Now, so this was about integration. Then comes the time shift. This is time shift. So if we shift the time with t minus t, capital T, this is required or not required. This depends on which branch and what subject you are learning. So you can take this as t, or you can take this as take this as t minus t greater than 0. For electrical and others, electrical and electronics people, they will know what is this. So this will reflect as e to the power of minus st. This is actually capital T. It should be capital T. So I'll tell you, it is going to be Laplace transform of f of t minus t naught. Then this will reflect as e to the power of minus s t naught f of s. So take this as capital T, not this small t, right? So this is the time shift we have, and this is the final value theorem. Final value theorem, and this comes like if we want to find the value of f of t at t tends to infinity, then we can find the Laplace transform, multiply it with a factor of s, and take limit s tends to 0. The condition is it should not have no poles on right half, and this generally concerns the electrical people, electrical and EC and all. So the condition is that we should not have any poles on the right hand side. By pole we mean the roots of the denominator function, right? And this is initial value theorem. This is valid if the function is proper, and for finding the function in time domain for t tends to 0, we can find it by transforming as f of s into s, and s tends to infinity. Now this is about division by t. So if f of t is having f of s, f of t by t will have the integration from s to infinity for f of u du. We are taking u as a change of variable, that's it. And if we are multiplying by a factor of t, then we are going to differentiate it. Like if we have for f of t we have Laplace transform as f of s, then for t times of f of t we will have minus d f of s by ds. This is also known as differentiation in the transform, right? Because this transform is getting integrated or this transform is getting differentiated. So this is transform derivative or transform integral, because we are doing the integration or differentiation in the s domain, and it is having a reflection on the time domain like this, right? So these are the standard properties and standard results. Other than that, we may have to do the Laplace inverse. So this was about Laplace transform. What more we need to know is Laplace inverse. So this is, if we have Laplace transform of f of t as f of s, then the inverse says f of t is Laplace inverse of f of s, right? We will try to understand it more with the examples or questions.